What is up, everybody? This is Tim with Gamersgate. It has been a while. I know my YouTube channel actually got banned for life, but after 7 years of appeals, I was able to get it back running again. This is not my main YouTube channel, but this one was banned right along with my main YouTube channel. So I'm back, but this time I've got this really awesome game called Craftomation 101. I mean, it's kind of buggy. It has some quirks to it that are a little irritating, but it's just no end to what they could do to this game or for this game. But there's one thing that is extremely frustrating for me, so I wanted to show everybody how to deal with it, and that is the functions and the variables and how they work together. So let's take a look at that right now. I'm going to go ahead and just do a new game. To hell with it. Why not? Let's start from the beginning. I'll try to make this as quick as possible for how-tos and stuff. I hate long, drawn-out videos, but I should have thought about that before I started recording. So first things first, we got to mine 2 stone, as it says here. So we're just going to click on it twice. You can drag and drop it. So we're going to just combine them to make a spark. Now it wants us to mine coal. We'll do that. And now we will take the coal on the spark that we got from the 2 stone, and voila, we've made fire. Now we're going to heat up the rocket and unfreeze it. And look at there, we have a new object, a bonfire. Let's place that down as it's telling us to do. Now what we need to do is light this sucker. So to get the fire, we need 2 stone to make a spark. We need 1 coal to make a flame, and a flame to make the bonfire. And as you see there, now we get another animation. This game is just really cool, y'all. Okay, new object head. That will come into play later. New object body. You will at some point be able to produce your own robots. Now we put them together and we have a Craftomate. Sweet. Now what can we do with this guy? Talk the Goofy. You know, he's got 50 battery. Let's see what it's asking us to do. It wants us to mine a coal, and it wants us to take this stone, and it wants us to put it on the coal. It's going to make a coal brick. Now, this is early game food for these guys. This will grant 25 battery power, and he's happy. I'm going to go ahead and fill him up. So we're going to make another one, and we're going to just make him 100%. There you go, buddy. Taught the Goofy. All right. Now it says follow on-screen highlights to create your first program. And this is where this game really starts to shine. Let's take a look. We click on the Craftomate. We open the editor, and I hope to God they change this. It's pretty clunky. They need a better UI for this. Either way, you can, it's still doable. So find and pick. It wanted me to click on that. It wants me to click here to say exactly what we want this Craftomate to go find. We're going to pick stone. Find and pick again. We're going to click stone because 2 stones together make a spark. So now we're going to combine, which will make a spark. That means that after we do this action, in this Craftomate's hand is going to be a spark. Now it says find and pick again. We're going to get a coal, and then we're going to combine the spark that we already had in our hand from here and the coal, and it will combine to make fire. Now it's going to say drop 2. Now this is coordinates. It's not ratio, it's coordinates. So we click on that, and then we click on the fire. So now he's going to drop it at that location. Now, keep in mind, if you move this bonfire, which you can do, if you move the bonfire, he will still drop it at this tile, and it won't go into the bonfire. So keep that in mind. So, if you move things around, you kind of have to start, messing with it. But that's where the variables come into play. So it's wanting us to click to idle. Now, what I could do, I believe, is just do this and have it wrap back around and start from the beginning. But that's what to idle does also. It'll just start right back over here and go through the whole thing again. Then you have to execute the program by pressing play. All right, let's watch Tot the Goofy. Come on, Tot. Get on it, boy. And there he goes with the fire. See, we'll watch him again. Stone, stone, spark. And then spark, coal, fire. Bam. Now, since we did a find and pick, what he's going to do is if there's a coal over here, you know, if it's closer to him, he'll go get that. Otherwise, he'll go and just mine this coal here. But since we're going to need this, I'm going to go ahead and make a coal brick. So let's get moving as far as that goes. What do we need to do? We need to create a brick. A brick is going to be created with soil and stone. Now we have a clay brick. Now to get a bonfire, it says craft a bonfire. You need to take a piece of coal, which you can drag from the little coal pile, right onto the brick, and we have another bonfire. Now it says place the bonfire next to frozen rocket. We're going to put it there. Light a bonfire with fire to unfreeze frozen rocket. All right, let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and, since he's filling this one up, I'm going to go ahead and make my own flame just so we can get this done. Boom. And we get another one. So I'm going to take Tot the Mad and have him fill this one up. Now, and we get a new command center. So what I'm going to do here is just copy what Tot the Goofy has. I'm going to press this button right here, copy program. I'm going to click that and click on Tot the Mad. Now, it's kind of unintuitive where when you click, it didn't actually select Tot the Mad. You have to click again in order to select him. So let's check and see if that took. Yes, but now keep in mind, we copied exactly what it was from here to this guy, right? So his drop to is still going to this bonfire. So we want to change that actually. I'm going to click on this and then click on the new bonfire, and that fixes it. We're going to hit play and just watch. Spark, flame, fire. There it is. So these two will just sit here and fill these up just forever because that's the instructions they were given, and that's what they're going to do. Now, I could technically program one of these guys here to take this stone, which this command center is asking for. If you notice, let me scroll in a bit here. Again, the game is a little bit buggy. So it wants 15 of the stone, right? And if I give it 15 stone, it'll upgrade and I'll get one robot and one of these, whatever this is. It's used for upgrades though. In the upgrades, you see up here, it's a progression point is what it's called. They should definitely name that something else. So I'm just going to do it myself. You place it right in front. The command center will take it. So let's do that. Okay, so Tot the Mad is dead. So we're going to make some more bricks. So you go ahead and eat. You go ahead and eat. And bam. All right, so they're almost full there. I have 3 more of these to go. Now you can do this while the game is paused. So that's kind of neat, I guess. And there we go. We got that. And we have an upgrade point. Now that allows us to eat. Now look at this. Tells Craftomate to consume an object it's holding in its hands. Although Craftomates can digest almost everything, only certain elements are truly nutritious to them. Cold bricks are fine on early stages of the game, while batteries, though harder to craft, guarantee full recharge. I would suggest never using your batteries to feed these guys. Just, it's not worth it. The time and effort involved in making the battery, it isn't feasible to feed all of your guys, and you'll probably see a little bit of that. So let's go ahead and let's get a third bonfire. I think that's what I'm going to do now. I'll get a third bonfire and then a flame. I'm going to take a flame from here and put it in there. I'll take one from here and put it in there. And voila. Come on now. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to copy Actually, Tot the Goofy, I think, is going over to this one. Yeah. So I'll just copy this one. It don't matter. Copy, paste. There we go. Now, there you are. And I'm going to change that to this one here. That way he'll start feeding the beast. And if you notice, I hit play. Oh, he's going to keep feeding it. Oh, you cut that out. So here's what I'm going to do to this guy, since I'm trying to get rid of this bonfire anyway. Actually, it's about to go away. So let me, yeah, I think right here will be fine. We can do that. All right. Now, see, this kind of froze up a little bit, but there's nothing in here that I need, but I have to open this up right here. That's imperative at this point. So I'm going to take this flame, and if you notice, Zox the Ugly, or no, Tot the Goofy, you notice how he's putting this here? That's because that's where that bonfire was. So I want to change his drop to over here. So now he's going to start dropping there. Now, there are ways to automate this in the future, and I'm going to get to that with the functions. So let's take this flame, and we're going to put it right there. We actually need to feed these guys again. So you can just click multiple times and start dragging. All right, let's feed them. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. You get some and you get some. It's easier to feed them like this when it's paused, because when they're moving, sometimes you'll just hit the wrong one. All right, so everybody is. I would overfill them if I offered that to them. So I'll give it to this guy over here. Okay, Zuff the Big. Here's what I'm going to have Zuff do. So to make a coal brick, we need 1 stone and we need 1 coal, right? So I'm going to do pick from, and there's a reason I'm doing this. Pick from here. It's going to grab a stone, obviously. And then I want him to, with his other hand, pick from, and I'm going to choose this coal. And then I'm going to have him combine it, right? Now, since I don't have functions at this point, and I can't do a whole heck of a lot right now, what I'm going to do is just do a bunch of drop twos. So watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll give it 4 locations. So now, again, this is totally early game. You don't have to do this, but this allows me some time to not sit there and monitor the same tile, because if he drops an object into the tile, he cannot then drop another object on that tile. So if he makes another coal brick, drops it on there, then goes and makes another coal brick, and he goes back and that spot's empty, he's going to stand there looking at like, whoa, what am I supposed to do? So in that case, I do this. I'll do drop 2 there, and then I'll do drop 2 right next to that. And then I'll do drop 2 right next to that. And then maybe I'll put 1 right here. So that way, and then obviously we want to go to idle. That completes the loop. So I'm going to hit play, and you'll watch him. He'll come over here. He'll grab his stone. He'll grab his coal. He'll slap them together. And there he goes. Okay, so we have an issue here, right? He's like, hey, I'm supposed to drop something here, but I don't have anything in my hands. That's what he's saying. So right now we debug. That's what we have to do. But if we see this, we're going to do on error, go to the next one. On error, go to the next one. And then on error, go to idle. Or what we could do is have these all go to idle, right? We could have them all do this. Either way would be fine, but because the error could be due to an object already being there, we could tell it to, hey, well, then go check this spot. And if nothing's there, then go check this spot. And if nothing's there, then go to idle, and we'll just start it all over again and try. So that's why I'm choosing to do that. So let's go ahead and watch what he does. See, he checks all the spaces. Nothing there, nothing there. Okay, let me go grab some more. stone, coal, coal brick, and he can't put it there. So let's look at why. Oh, I didn't set the on error on the first one. That's why. So we'll go and do that. And now he says, okay, all right. And he'll go up and he'll just do this until they're all full. Now, I'm not going to keep that code long enough to really care. At this point, I'm going to progress as quickly as I can. So we need spark. That's what it's saying. It wants 5 sparks. So here's 1,
2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. Now it's going to spit out a robot and it's going to give us another progression point. Now, we have a choice here. Now, the counters is a really, really good one to get, but because I want to get to functions because it just makes your life so much easier, I'm going to go ahead and buy the energy now. Now, what that does allow us to do, though, as it says here, if it's above 15, the program will go through the upper output, and if less, go through the lower one. So now I can give these people an option. I can say, hey, if you're hungry, go eat. If not, go back and get back to work. So let me show you how that works real quick. So we've got Zuff the Big here, or Tot the Goof. So at the end of this, right, so we drop this on the bonfire. Before he starts over, I want to tell him, say, hey, check your energy, okay? Check your energy before we go and do another one. So I don't have to keep dropping, things on you. And if his energy is below 15, it will come out here. If it's above 15, it'll go out here. So what we're going to say is go to idle if the energy is okay, meaning restart the loop. Now, if it's low, what we want him to do is find and pick, and I'm going to come down here and say find and pick a cold brick. And on error, we're just going to have him go back to idle and just keep going until he dies. And once he's done that, right, we're going to have him eat. And then, after he eats, we'll go to idle. Now, we're going to go ahead and play and watch what he does here. Where are you at? There he is. He's up here. Okay, so he's going to make his fire. He's going to go drop it off. And keep in mind, see, look, we can follow along with him. Right now, he's going to drop. Now he's checking his energy. And it looked like he's okay. So he went to idle and started back over again. Let's watch until he changes his mind. Boom. Get that fire, boy. Now, this isn't as great because you really run the risk of them just running out of juice because they just don't have enough time. See, he's running back through again. He's, and he may not make it because it may take him too long to get over here and come back. But let's hope that he does. So now he's going to look for, and see, he almost made it. He almost made it. But since we don't have, and I'm going to have to reset this goof. Let me do this. I'm just going to take off the on error, and then he's going to go and that is so weird. Okay, on error, just go. All right, buddy, just go. All right, and again, we can fix that later. So I'm gonna now watch this. He's gonna go and grab that. See, that's what he would have done, but he ran out of juice. That's why that energy check, it's really not worth dealing with because you're gonna progress so much faster. Now, just because I already know from playing the game, I know how to get an iron bar. Okay, so we're just gonna deal with that. Oh, we got a couple more deadbeats here. Oops. So let me go ahead and make some more of these. There you go. Now they're good for a moment. So now to make the iron bar, I need to get iron ore. And that's what popped up was iron ore. Now I need to take a flame and melt that. New object, steel. Oh, I keep calling it iron ore, but apparently it's steel. So you just melt it and smelt it, basically, is what you're doing. And now I'm just dragging that in front because that's what it wants 5 of them. Why are you? Why have you stopped, buddy? Oh, you're the new one. You're the new guy. So I'm gonna take my stuff here. Oh, I already completed it. Now this is a an iron plate, basically. So we're gonna take. Now we have a couple of storage containers, and you'll be able to make those for yourself as well. So now what I'm gonna do, because this is an issue, I'm going to get rid of all of this. Where drop two. Like I said, you don't have to do that because it doesn't take you long to progress out of that, right? So I'm going to say drop 2. Oop, thought I grabbed it. Okay, yeah, I know. That's the stupid thing. Okay, you can click and drag items from there because sometimes it bugs out and puts it way off screen, so you have to go find it. So I'm gonna drop 2, and then I'm gonna select this storage container right here, and then we're gonna go to idle, and that way they'll never run out of space, right? They'll always have space to do it. And where's the other dude? Yeah, right here. You're gonna get one too, buddy. Let me get rid of all of these. Let me drop 2 right here. Let me get rid of this on error and squeeze that in and go. Cool. All right. To make the plates, all you do is you take your steel and drop it on the other steel. And then bam, there it is. So I need some fire. And I got plenty of fire over here, by the way. I'm going to use some of that fire. That shit is fire, man. All right, steel. We need 1 more steel, and boom. So now we just take these. Now, I could code these guys to do what I'm doing here, but it's much faster for me to just do it by hand because I'm just trying to progress. That's all I'm trying to do. You should practice, though. If you haven't played the game or you're not as familiar with these types of games, you should practice and have, get your bot to do it just because you can. Like, why not? And now we get that. So now I have another. Now I have 2. So I'm going to go ahead and buy functions. And then I'm going to buy. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and buy the variables because that's what I really want to show you. Actually, you know what? I need that counters too to really showcase and highlight to you the power of this. So let's do one more thing. Now, this is easy as well. To make the bubble, glass, whatever it is, you take soil, you burn it. It turns into sand. Then you take fire and you burn the sand. It turns into glass. Now we drop that over here. Let me move this guy out the way. And I'm just going to do what I did before, which is make it myself. I'm just trying to get to that spot. And we get another one. Yay. Now, it has a bit of an instruction for the function. So let me go ahead and just show you that real quick. A function is essentially an action that you're going to do over and over again, right? Like how to make fire or coal bricks. This is something that's straightforward. It's the same every time you do it, right? So instead of coding those things individually from every robot, you build a function. So we're going to see that now. We're going to go over here to functions, user function. We're going to edit it. Now we're going to change the name here. We're going to call it, because I believe the first thing they do is have you make fire, right? So I do camel case, just, out of respect for coders out there. So find and pick the rock, find and pick the rock, and then combine, because 2 sparks, you combine, you combine 2 rocks, you get a spark. Find and pick the coal, and then combine, because now you'll have a spark in your hand. Then you add it to the coal and you get fire. And then see, if you notice here, it says output, right? It doesn't say idle. Now we're going to go back to Biz the Mad, right? I don't know why it's wanting me to, oh yeah, drop to, and then you're going to select, I guess this location. That's funny. Boom. I guess that's because that's where the original bonfire was located. That's why it's having us do it. And then we hit play. Obviously, I'm going to change the location, right? But let me do it over here. Yeah, let me have him drop it here. So if you'll notice, watch, I can take this guy, all of this right here, right? This, find and pick this, find and pick that, combine it, find and pick that, combine it, right? So watch, I'm going to hold down shift and then drag my mouse. I'm not clicking and dragging because that doesn't work in this game. Hopefully they fix that later, but you just move your mouse, hold shift, and then I'm going to delete all of that, right? You might be thinking I'm crazy. I'm not crazy because now we have a function that says make fire, and it has all of those instructions, and now I can just plop it in there. And then I will say, drop it to there. And then I'm going to have this dude check your energy. If it's low, find and pick, go eat, to idle, right? So it's this basically is all of this inside of this one little square. It makes things nice and neat. It allows you to paste these things over and over again quickly from one robot to the next. So now, since I have that, I'm going to go ahead and close this off. What I'm going to do is find one of these new bots, an empty bot. I'm going to create another function, and I'm going to name this Make Food, right? And I'm going to call it Make Food, and we know what we have to do. We have to go and find and pick a rock, and then we have to go and find and pick a coal, and then we combine them, and we are going to output. Now, I generally speaking, the game itself put the output on the outside of the function, but I sometimes forget, so I'll go ahead and have it drop to a storage container, which I'm going to put right here. Okay. So, and then I'm going to have that inside of the function. That way, every time I drop the function on somebody, they're automatically going to go and drop it at that same location. I generally use one storage container for all of my coal bricks. So now we're going to close this off. So now he's going to make food, and then I can just hit to idle, because I don't need to add the drop off or anything. Now I can do the energy check, right? I can say, okay, now that you've done a job, check your energy. If you're okay, go to idle. If you're low, then find and pick, right? We could do this, or we could make a function that does this, right? We could do that. And then once you've done that, go to idle. We could also do that as well. And that'll work just fine. So let's watch this dude go off. He's going to start making food, and he's going to start putting it in there. So I'm going to have you eat. Okay. So we need magnets. Let me see. Do I have another? Yes, I do. Okay. Now I have the compare objects or the counters, right? So I'm going to go ahead and buy the counters. What this allows is to check whether the amount of objects in a selected tile is more or less or equal to a selected number. You can compare energy, meaning you can say, hey, if your energy is below this amount, do this. If it's above this amount, well, do this other thing. So let's take a look at that real quick. The variables, okay, are extremely They were weird for me because I've programmed, dabbled a little bit in the past, so I understand logical operators, but the way that this game sets it up and there's really no explanation for it, it was hard for me to understand. So it took me a little bit to figure out, okay, that's how we implement this. And I'm about to show you to make it a lot easier. I'm going to make it real quick and easy for you, I hope. All right, so I've got a new bot here, Ahead the Mary, whatever the hell that is. So it's empty, blank slate, right? We're gonna do something crazy. What I want this bot to do is to maintain the fires. Okay, I want you to maintain the fire, Ahead the Mary. That's what I want you to do. So what I'm going to have to put in here is some variables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add as many variables as I have bonfires, right? So I have a bonfire here, here, and here. So we're going to have Ahead the Mary. I'm just going to call her, you know what? Let me rename this person, this thing, this entity, this clunk of metal. We're going to call you Janitor. Let's do that because you're maintaining stuff. So you're going to be Janitor. So since I have 3 bonfires, I want 1, 2, 3 variables, right? Now, I'm going to set these up here. Since I already have them in a location, and you can do this in a better way where it's more automated, but with these bonfires, it's kind of weird. So I'm going to manually set the locations of each bonfire. So this bonfire is at 12.6. This bonfire is at 14.7. This bonfire is at here. So what I want the janitor to do is to take this information and automate this process. So what I'm going to do is have her go and compare the count. So I'm going to use this count comparison, okay? And I need to hook this variable up to it so that it receives the location data from the variable, right? So we know that this bonfire is at 12.6. So I'm going to hook that location data up into this comparator, and I'm going to set, I don't need to set this, okay? I could, but I don't need to. I'm going to say if you are 5 or below or equal to or less, do something, right? If it has more than 5, I want it to go to the next thing. So what I'm going to do is just, I could copy and paste, but I'm going to go ahead and since I have 3 of these, I'm going to use 3 of these comparators. Oh, that's 4. All right. So, and it did it in order and basically the way that I want. So if you have 5 or more, so if it's equal to 5, I also want it to go to the next thing. Well, the next thing is going to be connected to this variable, right? So this will automatically get put in there as this location to go and have janitor look at the bonfire and count how many things are in there. And if they're 5 or more, well, see, and this is what I was talking about the bugginess of the game. So there we go. Now, 5. If you have more than 5 or equal to 5, go to the next thing, right? And this is going to be set by this next variable, right? Now, if you have less than that, right? If you have less than that, I'm going to have you go to my function that I made that says make fire, okay? Well, it links automatically to the last thing. So if you have less than 5, I want you to make fire. And then I want you to drop off the fire that you just made. And I'm going to connect this variable to that so that I don't have to manually set it. It automatically takes the location data from this and inserts it into this. So it'll automatically make it and put it in the right spot. Now, again, stone makes spark. You combine them to make spark. You take that spark, you combine it with a coal, and you make fire. And then we go back to the output, which is here, and it drops to the variable that's here. Now, once it does that, what I want it to do is to loop back and to recompare. So what this is going to do is this is going to say, okay, look at this bonfire. Is there 5 or more? Oh, there's less? Okay, well then let's make a fire. Let's drop it here. Then let's count how many are at that place we just dropped the fire off at. And it'll keep doing that until it reaches 5. And once it reaches 5, it's going to go out of this line and it's going to go right down to the next one, which is, you got it, this other bonfire. So it does the same thing. Okay, do you have 5 or more? Well, if you don't, well, guess what? You're going to drop to, let me disconnect this again. You're going to drop to this one, and then you're going to link back to here. Now, I could link back to the first part and just have it keep going through the whole thing over and over again, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go, and that way it just keeps focusing on this until it fills it up to 5, right? Once it's filled up to 5, it's going to go on to the next one. And the next one is going to be where I drop it right here. Okay, so the next one I'm going to have, if it's less than, you're going to go here. Oh, and there's one thing I forgot. If you know what it is, write it in the comments section. Pause it and write it in the comments section. And then I'm going to go ahead and fix it. And this is a common mistake. So what I didn't do was say, hey, frickin' make fire, right? I was just like, hey, drop this non-existent thing. So what I'm going to do is, if you have less than 5, you're going to go make fire. Then you're going to go drop that fire off, and then you're going to check and see how much you have again. Now I have to disconnect that, and then I'm going to make another one, and it automatically connects. Again, it's kind of annoying. All right, so if you have less, you're going to go make fire. Then you're going to drop that fire off right here. And then you're going to come all the way back and you're going to check it again. Now, if you have more or equal to, what do you think I'm going to have it do? I'm going to have it go to idle. That's right. Which means that it will exit and start all over again. Now, I need to reset this to 5. Now, let's watch this bad boy in action. Now, there's one thing that really needs to take place in here, and I'm going to let it happen. If you think you know what needs to take place within all of this here, let me know. Also, I want to point out that what I can do is copy all of this here. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to my functions. I'm going to create or edit this function, and I'm going to paste all of that in there, make it look nice and pretty. Now, in order to get the inputs that we had, we have to add the inputs here. Now watch what happens. So we're going to do 1. I'm going to move this down just a smidge. We're going to do 2. And then we're going to do 3. Now, we're going to link this to this. We're going to link this to this. And we're going to link this to this. So now watch when I go back and bring this function in. Let's call it comparator. Fire comparator. Fire comparator. Now let's go back and let's call in that function, right? I don't need it, but I want you to notice something that's different. This function is the same as this. Do you notice the difference? Like this is a function, this is a function. You notice the difference? That's because this has 3 inputs, right? So if I were to plop this down onto another robot that I wanted to also maintain these same fires, I would then put the variables in for the fires that I have, and then I would link them. Boom, 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 and it would automatically be connected to this. Now, that isn't what I was missing, but if you aren't sure what I'm missing, you know, if you think you know what I need in here badly, write it in the comment section, because I can already tell you I know what it is. Now, let's watch this. Let's watch the janitor in action. We're going to hit play. Watch this. Check the fire, check the fire. Okay, everybody's good, everybody's good, everybody's good. Well, somebody needed fire. There, she's getting spark. She's getting coal. She's making fire. Where's my janitor? Oh, okay, so I don't know what you're stuck on here. Let's see. Let's test it. So drop to... Oh, and that's what I didn't do. So I forgot to link. That's not what I forgot to do, okay? There's something else that needs to be done, but I just forgot to link these, because you have to link the location data to the drop-off point, right? So let's reset that again, and let's hit play. So janitor dropped all of her stuff. She's going to check it, check it. She's going to get 2 of those. She's going to make a spark. Go down there. She's going to make a fire. And now she's going to take it over there. She's going to bam, right in there. She checked it again. Did it need anything? Well, it looks like this one. Yeah, because this one only has 1. This one has 4, but it had 5 when she looked. Now, where's my lady at? Come back. And see, she keeps checking. That's 3. But watch what happens here. You're about to see something happen to my lady. Oh, what happened? That's right. Janitor died. Janitor ran out of juice. So what I would do in this instance, this is Taught the Mad. Let me go to my janitor. So how to fix that, and this is early game. Remember that. This is early game. You are, and it even has a flashing battery icon to let you know that, you run out of juice. So what I do is I will let it go through a couple of rounds of something, right? What I need is a function that allows them to go and find food and eat it, and if they can't find food, to make it and eat it, right? That's how I do mine. It just makes it so I don't really have to think about doing anything. It's pretty much hands-off approach. And then once I make that function, I'll apply it to all of them. So watch how I do this. There's a thing called compare energy right here. I'm going to click that, right? And again, this is going to be a function, and I'm going to call it recharge. Recharge. All right. So compare energy. If I have 20 energy, right? If I have less than that, equal to that, or more than that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do another comparative energy by saying if I have more than 20, I'm going to check to see if I have less than 60, right? Or actually, let me do less than 50, right? So if I have less than 50, I'm going to say find and pick a coal brick and then eat that coal brick, right? And if there is an error, this is important, right? This will make it real easy for you. What you can do is with that make food function that I had made earlier, I can add this to it, and I can say if there is nothing to grab and eat, then go make it, right? So to make it, we go get a stone, we get a coal, we combine them, and we drop it here, and then we output. So let's go back to janitor. Let's go back to, Where was it at? Oh, that's right. We were doing recharge. Okay, so after they make the food, they drop it off in here, but then we want them to go back and find and pick and then eat. And if they still can't find it, they're going to make more, right? They're going to just do that until they get one that will do that. And once they've eaten it, now we're going to go back and compare again. We're going to say, okay, was that enough to get you over this hump? And if it wasn't, go back through, eat again, go through that whole loop, right? So if it's less than 20, we definitely, and we're going to bypass this other check, right? So if it's less, we're going to go over there. If it's equal to, we're going to go here, right? So if it's more than 20, check to see if it's less than 50. And if it's less than 50, if it's between 20 and 50, I want you to go eat. If you can't find something to eat, I want you to go and make something to eat. And then I want you to drop it off, and then I want you to pick it up and eat it right here. And once you've done that, I want you to check and see, are you now between 20 and 50? If you are between 20 and 50, repeat the process again. So at this point, if it's equal to 50, I could choose to have them do it again, or I could go ahead and just have them get out of the loop, and I think that's what I'll do here. So if it's more than 50, please proceed on your way. If it's equal to 50, proceed on your way. So let's go back to janitor. Now we have this recharge, so we can call recharge in here, right? So whenever this person is finished here, and if we notice, this goes all the way back to, let me make sure that's correct. Yes, that is correct. So we're going to go from here, instead of all the way back here, we're going to have them recharge. And then once you've recharged, then go back and do the process again, right? So we have in the middle of this, they will at least recharge at least once. Now, it's unlikely that they'll run out of juice because there's not a whole lot that they're going to have to do once they've gotten all three of these bonfires up to 5, and they, it'll be a lot easier for them to maintain it. So let's go ahead and we're going to hide that. We're going to get some of this and we're going to feed it to these frozen guys here. And we have plenty, so that's good. We'll just give them each one or two. All right. Janitor, you're going to get another one. Now watch. So janitor's going to go dump her stuff. And now where is she at? Let's check where she's at. Okay, so she's currently on the last part, making fire. She's checking, and now she's back up here. She's checking. That had over 5, so now she's making fire here because this one had less. Let's see, had 4. Okay, she's going to make fire, and then she's going to drop it here. Boom. And now she's going to go recharge and see, eat. And eat again because the recharge wasn't enough. And now going to check it. Okay, we're good. Let's go look at the other one. Oh, look at that. We're all good. And then she'll just keep doing this over and over and over again. Now, you can then turn around and you can say, okay, Tot the Goofy, I'm going to get rid of this crap because this crap sucks. I'm going to get rid of all this. We're going to delete that. We're going to delete this. We're going to delete this. All we have to do now is take that function that we made, that thing called recharge, and after this person has dropped it off, we have them recharge and then idle. Because remember, on recharge, we say, are you between 20 and 50? If you are between 20 and 50, go find something to eat, right? And if there isn't something to eat, go make it yourself and then eat it, right? And then find it, pick it up again, and then eat it. And then check yourself. And if you're above 50 or at 50, go ahead and continue with what you were doing, which in this person's case, in Taught the Goofy's case, after he's done, he goes to idle, which means he goes right back to making fire and dropping it off, etc., etc. So that is how variables function. We'll go back to janitor so I can show you again. This variable can pass the location and information data into another object, right? And in functions, you can have them like this fire comparator. You can have them pass multiple variables into this function, and we'll open it up and see this is basically the same exact thing that is here, right? It's the same thing, except here we have defined these variables. In this one, we could pass the variables directly into here. So input 1 is at the top, input 2 is directly under, input 3 is under. So all you do to do that would be to take this line and go into input 1, and then here would go into input 2, and then here would go into input 3. Those are the kinds of things that you can do with it. You can also have multiple complex situations show up. For example, like if I wanted to make these steel plates, right? I'd have them go get the fire and then make the steel, right? And then I could have them put it inside of a storage box, and then I could have them check the storage box. But again, all this location data is going to be placed in there by the variables. For example, I'll just pull this guy up, Taught the Goofy. We'll pull him up there. We'll pick on him some more. So example, I'm going to use a function here. Okay, I'm going to create this function. I'm going to say right here in variables, we have what's called find. Okay, find the steel, right? Find the steel. That's the steel's location data. And once we have that, now we can pass that information into, you can say, right here, compare count, right? If I wanted to, I found it, now I want to compare the count. So I pass that location data into this comparator. And now I can say, okay, well, how many are in that box? If it's less or equal to or more than the amount that I've chosen, then do this, that, or the other thing based on these three situations. You see how that works? It's very powerful. It's a very powerful thing. I mean, this is what makes programming language so powerful, because it gives you just an innumerable number of options to deal to fix problems and to debug. And if you've watched this and you've also played this game, if you saw anything that I did that you think that I can be better at doing, please let me know in the comment section, because I only started playing this game today. And it's really, I really just love this game. The way they've done it is amazing. It's pretty simple, yet very, very complex. So that is how you use variables in this game. I did this video because I hadn't seen anybody else talking about it, and it took me a while to really understand, okay, I see what we're doing here. Yeah, now once I've figured it out, I mean, I've made all kinds of crazy things. Go out and make your own stuff, and if you have links to a screenshot of a function that you've made with variables, feel free to leave that in the comment section below as well. Guys, thanks for watching. This is Tim with Gamersgate. We'll catch you next time on the next how-to video. Again, my channel had been banned for life, but after 7 years of appealing, I was able to get them unbanned, so be looking out for more content. I appreciate it, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Peace.